Hi everyone, my name is Sharissa and my presentation today will be focusing on sexual abuse among children and adolescents. I'd like to take a moment to give fair warning that some of the information provided throughout this presentation may be disturbing or uncomfortable for some, so please feel free to pause, take breaks, do self-care activities. However, if this presentation is far outside your comfort level, I advise you to reach out to our professor. And yes, thank you for listening to my presentation. So what is sexual abuse? According to Ontario Association of Children's Aid Society, sexual abuse occurs when a person uses power over a child and involves the child in any sexual act. This abuser is more powerful because of age, intelligence, physical strength, control over the child, and the child's need to be taken care of by others. The offender gets the child to participate by using threats, bribes, lying, and taking advantage of the child's trust. So the sexual abuse includes involving the child in acts such as fondling, touching the child in a sexual manner, getting the child to touch the abuser inappropriately, oral sex, inserting fingers, penis, or objects in the vagina or anus, exposing oneself, inappropriate sexual language, allowing a child to watch pornography, involving a child in pornography or sex trafficking, or sexual exploitation over the internet. And most of the sexual offenders are people that children know. Now, when working with school-age children, there may be some sexual-like behavior where the art therapist may not be sure if they should be concerned or not. Thankfully for us, the Ontario Association of Children's Aid Society has put together a category list of behaviors to watch for. In the first column, we have the okay-like behavior. This is when children think of children of the opposite gender are gross, or that they chase after children of the opposite sex. They talk about sex with their friends. They talk about having a romantic relationship. Older children play games with peers about sex, like telling and listening to dirty jokes. They may begin to explore websites or apps which has sexual content. Moving over to the worrisome category. This is where if a child refuses contact with a specific individual, they may use sexual language to insult or scare others. They may romanticize all relationships. They may want to play games related to sex with younger or older children. They can make sexual sounds at inappropriate times, or they may self-produce, send, or respond to sexual images or text messages. The third category, where it states to start to get help. This is where children hurt and or avoid certain types of people. Example, people of a gender identity different from their own, people with certain features such as facial hair. They may not be able to stop talking about sex or sexual acts, even when asked not to. They can start to see all relationships in a sexual manner. They force others to play sexual games, or they may continue to tell dirty jokes even after being disciplined. Now, this is in regards to the nature of sexual awareness. So again, in the okay-like behavior column, this includes when children are drawing, they include genitals on the people that they are drawing. They begin to look at pictures of naked people, such as through magazines or online. They may make fun of people with a gender identity different from their own, but they show that they want privacy and to have it respected. The second column of worrisome. So if you notice that genitals are the main feature in the picture or are larger than the rest of the body parts, if they become overly curious with pictures of naked people, or they may become very upset when privacy is not respected. The third column of getting help. This is where drawings may include adult sexual activity or sexual abuse of a child. They may express hatred towards their own genitals, and they could demand privacy in an aggressive or overly upset manner. For this slide, I chose to incorporate potential signs of sexual abuse when working with children and adolescents, as abuse can occur at any time. So according to Ontario Association of Children's Aid Society, some of the signs to watch for in regards to sexual abuse may include, but are not limited to, frequent sore throats or urinary infections, constant sadness, reenactment of abuse using dolls in their drawings or with friends. There might be a sudden fear of the dark. They may express recurrent nightmares or disturbed sleep patterns. There could be loss of appetite for no apparent reason or an excessive appetite. There can be concerns around bedwetting and or avoidance of undressing or wearing extra layers of clothing. I also included what to do when receiving disclosures. This information is provided by the Saskatchewan Child Abuse Protocol, as this is where I am from. However, I do find this information to be supportive and can be used Canada-wide. So this is receiving disclosures of abuse from a child. So direct disclosures, there are times when children or youth will tell you directly that they are being abused or neglected. Regardless of the type of abuse a child reports, all disclosures must be treated in a similar manner. So if a child makes a disclosure, it is advised that the therapist or you are to listen openly and to control your reaction. Reassure the child that it is safe to disclose this information to you and that it is not their fault. Do not correct the language. Let the child report the incident in their own words. Do not ask leading questions or insert information. Record what the child has reported as they had reported it, including your observations. Avoid making promises that you cannot keep, such as saying, I won't tell anybody, I will keep this a secret, so on. They also mentioned that as a member of the community, if you believe that a child may be neglected or abused, you have the legal responsibility to immediately report your concerns. Okay, now moving into the art therapy intervention with children and adolescents under the age of 10. So I chose to go with the expressive art therapy path, as this is a way to emphasis on the healing aspects of the creative process, such as movement, drawing, painting, sculpting, writing, improv. They're all used in a supportive, client-centered setting to experience and express feelings. All art that comes from an emotional depth provides a process of self-discovery and insight. We express inner feelings by creating outer forms. When we express these invisible forms, we are using art as a language to communicate our inner truths. So clients have reported that the expressive arts help them go beyond their problems, to find a new sense of soul or spirit, and to envision themselves taking constructive action in the world. Some of the outcomes that come from sexual abuse is how it can affect a child or adolescent's self-esteem. However, for this portion of the presentation, I will be focusing on the ages 10 and younger. Now, when working with a child who has experienced sexual abuse, we can observe their perception of their self-worth or identity. For instance, children who experience abuse often internalize the negative messages they've received from their abusers. For example, they may believe they are worthless, unlovable, or inherently bad. This negative self-perception can lead to chronic low self-esteem. There could be a lot around shame and guilt. So emotional and sexual abuse often involve manipulation that fosters feelings of shame and guilt. Victims may feel responsible for the abuse, or they believe they somehow deserved it, which is further damaging their self-worth. There's talk around coping mechanisms. So an attempt to cope with the pain and the abuse, some children may engage in behaviors such as substance abuse or self-harm. These behaviors can further erode their self-esteem and contribute to a vicious cycle of negativity. Now, my therapeutic goal is to help support a change in narrative. My intervention includes having my client spend time thinking of a positive self-affirmation word. I understand that this may not come easy or at all. That could be the case. However, it can shape into words that they may wish to believe of themselves one day. They can also use symbols that they relate to. They can write songs or lyrics or poetry, really anything that brings them a sense of joy. Initially, when I began to brainstorm this idea, it was all based around a scarf and writing positive words onto a scarf. But then I realized that not everybody likes to wear a scarf. So I expanded it to a t-shirt, which can also go over to a hat, writing a message on a hat. And I even thought for more inclusive, I was thinking if someone doesn't want to wear on their clothing or anything like that, we can also create buttons. This gives the ability to take off the button, put on the button. The idea of how this art therapy intervention is structured to address the goal is to help the children look within and begin the process of ignoring the negative self-talk and start to begin igniting the self-love, and being able to bring it forward to a place that can, to a material that can be seen and felt. They can have it as a reminder, and the ability to have this item that they've created, they'll be able to drape themselves with words of kindness. As far as material goes, if they wish to bring a t-shirt of their own or anything that they wish, a hat. However, I am and would be willing to provide t-shirts of all sizes and bring markers and scarves. I'd bring a button making material. But yeah, I would really like to try this for children who have experienced low self-esteem due to sexual abuse. Okay, moving into the art therapy interventions for adolescents at the age of 15. I chose to go with the humanistic approach, which focuses on creating a non-judgmental environment where trauma survivors use art to express and accept themselves by providing a safe and non-judgmental space to express and process challenging and unresolved feelings. Art therapy enhances emotional control and reduces PTSD symptoms and helps survivors develop a sense of empowerment. I call this intervention breaking through, as I believe it will be helpful for those who suppressed words, thoughts, feelings, emotions. Now giving them a place to create freely by using clay, giving them a creative outlet for those bottled up emotions. So they can choose how they feel, what they think, whatever it is they wish to choose. I did also include at the top right corner, there was a stamp that got to be used in the clay. I thought this would be great to also incorporate in the art making process for those who can't get their object to look the way they wish to, or just providing just another tool to help create the art that they wish to. The materials that will be needed is clay, paint, stamps. I think this may be helpful for those to finally express in a manner that they wish to, where they may not just have the words quite yet, but to be able to build and then have the opportunity to destroy, essentially. They can squeeze it, they can squish it all together, they can break it at the end, destroying the artwork. Not only teaches the students to let go of something beautiful, but it also helps them feel a certain relief or release. What was in existence is gone, and something new can begin in its place. So for this intervention, I call it breaking through. Thank you all. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen to my presentation. I look forward to watching the rest of yours. Thank you so much.